Hello and welcome to this week's Hippie Hyena. This week we're going to take a look at Candice Owens, who is a sort of right-wing talking head, and she's got a bit on her show called Cancel Corner, which I thought sounded quite hilarious, so I thought we should take a look at it and see what's going on over there.
Cancel Corner. Ooh, gonna get canceled.
Yes, you did just see that. That wasn't a magic mushroom flashback. That literally just happened.
All right, guys, welcome to the Cancel Corner, the place where we keep track of all the things the left has killed unnecessarily. I'm so excited. Over the years, it feels like the woke nonsense has deleted so many things from our lives.
Things like Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby, I can't wait to see what's on her list, because I literally can't think of anything.
Nobody was upset about it until everybody was upset about it. So we've got Aunt Jemima, Goya Beans, Mr. Potato Head, so many more innocent, inanimate objects that the left has said goodbye.
Oh wow, I thought it was going to be a list of really unimportant things, but now I see it's a bunch of things, well, not even the things, like cardboard cutouts of things that just look like a bunch of trash that, this is so insane. This is so insane. I wonder if she has any idea of how insane this looks. Like, it's just a bunch of things that nobody cares about. I mean, Mr. Potato Head, it wasn't even cancelled. You can still buy Mr. Potato Head dolls. For evidence's sake, I just bought one recently. They still exist. All of these things are total figments of the right's imagination. It might as well be sort of like unicorns up there and leprechauns and the Loch Ness Monster. Oh my god, the left has cancelled the Loch Ness Monster. Just completely absurd.
And recently, obviously in the midst of this Cardi B feud, the left even tried to cancel me, Candice. It's just so sad. But of course, here at the Daily Wire, we had planned on that. I had already said, if we're going to cancel Candice, we have to be the ones to lead the army. We're in on the joke, people. Cancel Candice. Head to cancelcandice.com to snag your shirt.
Wow, that's serious cringe. That is serious cringe. Candice, you're not in on the joke. You are a joke. Look at that audience of boomers. Jesus Christ. Clapping along like idiotic seals. I mean, Christ almighty.
But I do want to talk seriously to you guys about this culture of canceling, because there's something weird that is happening when we are canceling things that are good and propping things up that are bad. And what I mean by this is, of course, amidst all of this back-forth exchange with Cardi B, a lot of really important things got dropped about this conversation, about what it means for women when somebody like Cardi B is named Women of the Year.
So literally, in a segment on a show about cancel culture, where she is deriding the left for attempting to cancel things, she simultaneously can't help but, drop in the idea that she wants to cancel someone, I mean, the right basically invented cancel culture. Just ask them how they feel about pornography, to see how they feel about cancelling things. They love cancelling things. They just haven't been very good at it, They want to cancel Cardi B. They want to cancel Lil Nas X, whatever he's called, and his Satan shoes. They would love to be able to cancel those things. They just haven't been able to, because the public's not on their side. And when the public's not on your side, it's quite difficult to do that sort of thing.
What it means for women when we're being told that less is more. It's not less is less. I say all the time that it's really hard being a girl. I get messages all the time from mothers who say to me, I don't know what to do with this society. You've got 13-year-olds that are injecting their lips and thinking that they need to alter their bodies to be accepted. And it wasn't like this such a short time ago. A short time ago, Dr. Seuss was loved, and we didn't consider Dr. Seuss books to be racist. A short time ago.
Factually inaccurate, Dr. Seuss considered his own books to be racist, and edited them to be less so during his lifetime. And the truth is that these books haven't been cancelled. It's just that nobody's been buying them for years because of the slightly uncomfortable content. And so, as a capitalist corporation, they've realised it's no longer profitable to be producing those books anymore. Like, what would Candice like to force a company to continue to produce unprofitable products that nobody wants to buy because I don't know why, really? Because she wants more racism in children's books? I don't know, it's pretty weird. The logic of it just doesn't connect, it's just nonsense.
A performance like the one that landed on the Grammys with Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion would have been roundly condemned by everybody.
Oh, you mean it would have been cancelled? I mean, she's literally bemoaning the loss of right-wing cancel culture, or at least the effectiveness of right-wing cancel culture. The culture behind that still very much exists, as Candice is evidence of. But I mean, how utterly thick does she think her audience is that in a segment on cancel culture being bad, she's hearkening back to the golden age of right-wing cancel culture? It's just bizarre.
And the people that are getting lost at this time are young women who don't know what to do. When I was a kid, I was allowed to have braces when I was 13. We didn't have social media. I'm totally dating myself here, but we didn't have Twitter or Facebook, and so we were not constantly being bombarded with images of women with their breasts out and always looking for attention on the internet, and things have drastically changed. And so I think it's incumbent upon women who care about young women to speak up and to speak out against this and to make sure that we are being leaders in this society. One person that I have always adored is Condoleezza Rice. I think she is a wonderful example of what it means to be successful, what it means to be powerful, and we don't see people like her being propped up and being celebrated.
Wow, Condoleezza Rice. I mean, talk about a square. Really? You want young girls to be looking up to Condoleezza Rice? An insane war hawk who worked for one of the most terrible administrations in American history? A literal war criminal? I mean, I'd much rather a daughter of mine looked up to Cardi B, a creative artist who's actually added something of artistic merit to the world, has enriched our culture. Even if I personally am not that keen on her music, I'd way rather someone who made an artistic contribution than an insane militaristic one.
So, in order to make sure that I am a part of the change that I want to see be impacted in society, I did want to give 3 pieces of advice to young women who are struggling with this new culture.
With this new culture. My God, it's just like underneath the veneer of whatever veneer the right wing has chosen, there's always this kind of like curmudgeonly, kind of old-fashioned, socially conservative, boring boomer underneath it. It's been the same throughout all of history. People complaining about hippie men having their hair too long, or, whatever else it is. It's like, things move forward, okay? Progress happens. You can either get with the program or become obsolete. And what's really sad about Candice Owens is she's not that old, She could totally be a part of our society, but instead she's trying to shoehorn it back into the past. A past, let's not forget, that she wouldn't have had a career in at all,
The first piece of advice would be to remind young women that thoughts become things. This is why you think it means nothing when you put on a dirty song on your iPad or on your phone and you say, okay, well, it's just music. It's not just music, obviously. What you put in your ear informs your thoughts. It informs your ideas.
So basically cancel anything that Candice Owens doesn't politically agree with. That's her first piece of advice. Cancelling. Just put your fingers in your ears, go na 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 na, and pretend that modern life isn't happening around you.
The second piece of advice I'd like to give you all is that morality is hard, but it's more rewarding. And I say this as someone who I always say took the most liberal route to conservatism of any person ever. So
absolute gibberish. So a second piece of advice is to be more moral, which if you were to follow, the pretty good first step in that would be to stop listening to Candice Owens and her ilk, because there's nothing more immoral than a right-winger. Nothing.
And the last piece of advice, which I think has been really a big part of my brand, as I consider myself to be the anti-feminist, if you will, is that modern feminism leads to unhappiness.
I mean, what's this based on? Because I've got to say, looking at you there in your pastel-coloured studio with a bunch of shelves with cutouts of Mr. Potato Head and beans on it, you don't seem very happy. You kind of seem insane. So what can we learn from this video? Basically, we can learn that the right is basically completely insane. They've gone way off the deep end, especially on this subject of cancel culture, which basically doesn't exist in the form that they present it to. It's a complete sort of figment of their imagination. Meanwhile, they're actively trying to push cancellation of various pieces of modern culture, of art, music, expressions of sexuality in any of its forms. The right love cancel culture. They love it. They invented it, they maintain it, and they wish they could carry on doing it. But you know what? They're not going to win this one. Just like most things, they're not going to win. So I hope you've had a good time, and see you next week. I'm sorry this episode came out a bit late. There are reasons why I won't go into here, but I apologise. Goodbye.